Okay, so that's interesting. Am I still in the meeting with you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're still here.
Okay. All right, it's telling me to like leave the meeting and come back. All right, so we're not gonna do that today. Okay, so yeah, it says custom streaming. Let me just check YouTube here. New technology. It's the first time, oops. It's the first time I'm going live this way with Zoom events. Okay, it does say that we are live. All right, so that was a little wonky setup there, but all is good so far anyway. So, welcome everyone to our Friday group coaching session. I am Bridget Bartlett. I'm going to go ahead and share with you guys how you can join the meeting. I know things are a little bit different because we're using Zoom events, but it should all be in the same spot here. So, let me go ahead and share my screen. If you guys have any issues at all, let me know. Here we go. Let's try this option. I think this is just super gnarly that I can actually like be on camera when I'm sharing my screen. So let's try this. Okay. So, inside of the dashboard, you want to go to the community tab and you'll see this post here. This post has the link. I don't want to expose it to everybody in the world, but this post does have the link for joining the session. You also can go into the events calendar and you could click that link and join the session as well. You guys definitely let me know if you have any issues. Now, one of the things, of course, before I even get into all of that, if you're not a member of our reseller program and you would like to sign up, you can go to myvisionagency.com. You can register here for the free community. If you want to join our reseller program, you can actually join for free if you decide to create a HighLevel account using my affiliate link. You'll get a free membership. If you are already a HighLevel customer, you can join us directly here. Now, something that, let me stop sharing here because I just want to make sure that everyone is in that needs to get in. Okay. So, um, a couple, maybe a month ago, let me find my screen again. So maybe a month ago, I did a training where I showed you guys how to create a custom GPT for like your YouTube events, or really it can be anything that you are consistently updating, like in a Google Sheet, or you already have a Google Sheet of information. I showed you how you can create a custom GPT with that info. But for my use case, what I wanted to do is every time I upload a new YouTube video, it sends that title, the URL, and the description of the video to a Google Sheet, and then it updates that. And I do that all through Zapier. The problem was, though, is that there was no way I created that custom GPT because I wanted you guys to be able to like search. If you're looking for, I have over 1,500 videos on my YouTube channel. So if you're looking for something, sometimes it's a little bit hard to find. And I wanted to create that to help you guys find that. But the problem was is that I had to manually download that Google Sheet and then upload it to the custom GPT to make it updated, right? When I'm doing 5 videos a week, that's a lot of video. Even if I did that once a week, it's still, 5 videos before it's even updated. So the last time I did that, it actually broke the whole system. ChatGPT started like giving hallucinating links that weren't even working. And it's because that file was at that point so large that it just couldn't read all of the data and started doing the infamous ChatGPT hallucinations. So what I did is I actually used Manus, and I had Manus help me create this so that it's automated. So now every time I upload a YouTube video, I'll use Zapier and it will update that Google Sheet. Okay. Now you can update the Google Sheet any way you want to. All right. So this process is going to be the same no matter what your purpose is. The process is basically the custom GPT is listening to the Google Sheet. And every time the Google Sheet gets updated, then it sends that details or that message or whatever, that data to the custom GPT. So that is actually a super complex process, but I actually use Manus to help me figure it out. Now, I know that you guys are going to say, you have to do a training on this. There's no way I can do a training on this. This is so crazy advanced that I'm surprised that I was able to figure it out. But what I did do is I had Manus create a guide so that if you guys are interested in doing this, you can actually use this guide. And here's a little thing that Rick just gave me the idea about maybe creating a custom GPT utilizing the guide so that if you get stuck in a place where you don't, you're like, where, I don't know what I'm looking at, you can actually use that custom GPT to help you. So I thought that would be kind of cool to do with you guys today. If you guys are you down for that? Do you want to see how to create a custom GPT to help you create custom GPTs? Okay. All right, so let's do that. I want to show you though how you can. Manny says he's down. Cool, cool. All right, so let's share my screen here. I'll show you. All right. So first, let me show you how this works. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click here to suggest a video. Now, you guys, I literally was just working. I was almost late to the meeting because I was trying to get all of this tested and things. So already, I don't like how it asks this question when you click suggest a video, but let's just type in CSS. Okay. Now I'm going to pretend that I want to know, you know, like I saw a video that, that Bridget did, and I want to find it. And all I know is it was about CSS. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just choose CSS, and then it will search the database, and then it will generate a list here. So we have the title, the description. Now, if I click this, if all goes well, it should take me right to that YouTube video where, and this looks like a commercial, but it is use Manus to create CSS for high-level funnels and websites. I am freaking out, you guys. This is so cool. Okay, but how do you do this, right? That's the question everybody wants to know. So if you go into this, let me just show you, you go into this. This is the guide that I created for you guys, okay? Or that Manus created. So you can see this is not an easy process, okay? But I'm fairly techie. All that aside, this Manus helped me do all this, right? And there was a time that I was like, Manus, you're moving too fast. You have to slow down. I'm not a computer. Okay. So that's literally what I was telling Manus. All right. So it's kind of complicated, but let's talk about let's walk through the process of how to create a custom GPT using that option. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to explore GPTs. I'm going to go to actually create. I could have done the other way too, but we can talk it out here, but I prefer to create my own. So, okay, so what we're going to do is, Manola, if you want to check out the replay, it'll be available in the hub and also on YouTube. Okay, I will add it to the community. So we're going to say, we're going to give this a name, and it is going to be custom GPT updates from Google Sheet. All right, and this custom GPT will allow you to set it up to update from a Google Sheet. All right, let me capitalize this because I'm like OCD and it should be capitalized. So we'll say GPT. This is why I record some of my videos, you guys, because I do this even live. I'm just like obsessive compulsive. Okay, so now here's the part when we want to upload the file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and upload this file, and it is, let me see if I actually, yeah, universal guide here. All right, now I'm just going to stop. Actually, let's type in help. Help me create a custom GPT. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring in my Manus here. And what I want to do is I can even start a new task here. So we'll say, help me create a custom GPT to um, that will update from the info using a Google Sheet. Please reference this guide so that the users who are not experienced with this process will be able to create their own. All right, now I'm going to upload this file. Let's choose this. And let's go ahead and let Manus do its work here. So it's going to basically read this. What we want to do is go back here and we can add like a generic prompt like, actually, let's just stop here. Let's create and save. Because Manus does take a minute. And what I love about this, like you can see, Manus is thinking right now. File operation error, it's trying to resolve. It's trying to review the Google Sheet GPT guide. And I just want to be clear, give me the prompt for the custom GPT and any knowledge files needed. So you guys, it's literally that simple. And you can see I didn't really start out with like some big professional prompt that, I need to be a prompt engineer. I just literally, if this was like if I was talking to Maria, she was my VA or something, I would be like, "Hey Maria, today I need you to help me create a custom GPT that will update blah blah blah." Right? I would just talk to her like a normal person. And then of course if she had any questions, then she would ask me and then we would have this conversation. And then Maria would go off and do her magic and create whatever it is I asked her to create. So you really just want to think of these AI tools as your VA. Now, I will say this Manus is miles ahead of ChatGPT. Okay. ChatGPT would never be able to give me this type of like really good output. Um, but let's say your changes couldn't be published. Your GPT can't be shared publicly because it violates our usage policies. Interesting. Okay. Let's say, I don't even know why that would be though. Updates from Google Sheet. Oh, I think it's because you can't really use like brand names. Um, let's say, uh, let's say G Sheet just to get rid of Google in the title here. And let's update or create. Anyone with the link? All right, so it let me do that now. All right, now look, I have no prompt in here at all. I'm just gonna click here and see what it gives me. All right, so it's giving me all these wow. That's with no prompt. That's pretty cool. All right, so let's let Manus do its work and we'll come back to this. Do you guys have any questions about this? Do you have any like like what are other ways that you think that you could do or use like your own custom GPT based off of a Google Sheet, the data from that? Because one thing that I absolutely love using it for transactions, using it for audits. Oh my gosh, audits. Oh, it's amazing. Maria?
I just have a question. It might be basic, but you say custom GPT versus in a prompt. Is that the same thing?
So a custom GPT is like you have the normal chat, right? Like you go to ChatGPT is something that you create so that it basically you're putting the brain behind the chat. And the brain is whatever you want it to be, right? So like I'm just creating a custom GPT to show you how to create these custom GPTs. So what you do is you click on the GPT, it opens up your own chat GPT account, and then you have the brain at your fingertips in your own account so that you can, ask it, you can continue having this conversation, and then it will go back and reference the specific prompt and documents that I've put in that GPT so that you can, it's basically not wide open to the world, right? If you ask ChatGPT, how do I create a custom GPT? It's going to send you all over the place. It's not going to walk you through the steps and be very clear like that. But if you create a custom GPT and you upload these documents, it helps you to like basically stay within the frame of what you're trying to build. Does that
So
make?
it's more of a specific uh prompt gear that you developed and then you write it up and then you put it back in
Yeah.
and then I'm trying to figure that out. Okay.
Yeah, so like here, let me give you an example here.
Okay.
So let's say that let's say you just came to ChatGPT and you're like, help me create my own custom GPT. You could type that in there and it'll say, all of these things. And first head on over to this, whatever, customize the basics, all this. So it's going to give you this type of random information, right? But the things that it doesn't know is if your purpose is like I want to, get it updated from a Google Sheet and all of that stuff, it's going to basically walk you through from the very beginning like I had to do. But if I go through all the steps and then I ask chat or I ask Manus like I did, I literally said, let me go back here and give me a prompt. Okay. So I said, help me create a custom GPT that will update the info using a Google Sheet. Please reference this guide so that the users who are not experienced with this process will be able to create their own. I think that's actually what I already. Where's the one that I asked it to create this? Okay, so and you can see this was 3 conversations long because I
Mhm.
started this at 10:18 this morning. And
Mhm.
you can see I was still working on this. But what I said after I went through all of that process, all of the bouncing back and forth and doing all the troubleshooting, I said, now please create a step-by-step guide for other people to be able to set up their own custom GPT based on a Google Sheet being updated like this one. Don't make it specific to me, make it universal. So this is basically all of that stuff that I've already done is now going to be built inside of this custom GPT. Okay. Does that make sense, Maria?
Yes, it does. It does. I was trying to figure out the difference between
Yeah.
the now I understand. Okay.
Cool.
I got that. Now the last question doesn't have to do with that so much. How are you doing this cool picture you're in here? Are you using Zoom for this? I'm
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
you
It's Zoom events.
Zoom events. Okay, it's cool.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think it is cool too. I like it. All right. Tony, you have a question?
No, actually, check this out. What you just did, okay?
Uh,
ChatGPT just had a new update where it could search. Okay, it could search if you're shopping for something, it could search for the best price for whatever it is you're looking for. As an example, if you add the example that I saw when I saw the update, they asked ChatGPT to search for the best headphones for under $100. So if you're in that line of business, like retail arbitrage, and you search these prices for these things, you could put them in that doc, right? And keep an inventory of all your products as you're having ChatGPT find them for you. So if you
What
sell on,
What if you were an Amazon affiliate and you could create your own custom GPT with all of those things, and then you could even have it add like your own affiliate code to the end of it. So every time it recommended a product, it was associated to you.
you took the words right out of my mouth. I was building up to that.
That would be,
Cha-ching.
I'm so sorry. I get like my brain is like, oh my gosh, an idea, and you have to like spit it out.
I'm telling you, but think about it. that would be like pretty huge for anybody selling any product anywhere. I mean, you have people that build that on a large scale. That's what they do for like businesses. They're buyers.
Hmm.
They have to shop and find the best price, whether it's a liquid product, a perfume. Pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. Charles, I see your hand is up.
Hey, so I had jumped on late, so I didn't get to hear the training and stuff. So I'm kind of going off of one of the questions that you were asked before that kind of got me thinking. So you were talking about the custom GPTs, and I'm in OpenAI doing my own version of a custom GPT, but how do I share that with somebody? The when you create your own in OpenAI versus the custom GPT because of the limitations that it
So how do you want to share it? Do you want to share it like with customers or like a VA?
has. I guess right now internally, yes. So,
So if you just wanted to share like a chat from,
mhm.
is that how you have it? Just a chat?
Yeah,
You could go to, let me pull something up here. You could go to the chat and you would just click share and then you have that link. So you could create that. But if anyone makes changes to this, it's going to update that.
okay.
So if you want them to utilize the information and not
Mm,
be able to make updates to it, you have to
right.
create a custom GPT.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So let's see what it gave us here, you guys. So it said, okay. Now you can see, like I gave it these initial prompts, right? And I guess if you call that a prompt. And then I just went on and talked to you guys. And then while I'm talking to you guys, Manus is doing all this work for me. Okay. So now it gives me these files. So this is the custom GPT prompt for Google Sheet integration. So it's giving me all of these instructions here. Now I can literally ask Manus like I'm a 5-year-old. Okay. I can say, what does this mean? What, where do I put this? Whatever. And it's going to tell me just like I'm a 5-year-old, right? So let's see what it says. I prepared the materials for the custom GPT. Here's what I've created. Here are the files. So we have the custom prompt. So I'm going to go ahead and just add, I'm going to copy all of this. And I'm going to add this to my prompt. So let's go back to ChatGPT. Let's go into let's go into my GPTs and let's update this one that we're working on. So it gave me the prompt, so I'm just pasting it in there. Now the next thing, we have the Open AI. Okay, so it's getting kind of advanced here, and I'm not really sure that I want to do it like that. Um, to the Google Sheet. Manus, I just need this to be basic for informational purposes, and I don't need the API schema integration. Can you just make this simple? All right. So now it's going to listen to my voice message and it's going to do whatever it is I said. Now, look, you guys, this is a lot of times I have my phone pulled up. You can download Manus on your phone, just like ChatGPT. And a lot of times I'll have the phone up and my screen and I'll be bouncing around and I'll like just have something else I wanted to add, or I won't like have time to like type it all out. So I just pick up the audio thing and I just tell it exactly what I'm trying to build here. And it hears my voice and then it goes ahead and does whatever it is that I want it to do. So we'll come back to that in just a second. Do you guys have any other questions? Or definitely let me know, how would you use this? How in your business can you think of like a way that you need to consistently update a Google Sheet? And then if you do that part, All the rest of this is included in your custom GPT, right? And that's really easy to do if you are using HighLevel. Let me actually get into a workflow here and I'll show you how you can use HighLevel without even using Zapier to set this up. So I'm just going to create a new workflow here. Let me share my screen. All right. So in the workflow, let's say that every time I get a new customer, I don't know why you would use it for a customer maybe, but let's just say whatever your trigger is. Every time I got an order submitted, I wanted to update a Google Sheet. So I'm going to go Google Sheets. And here I can choose what do I want to do with the Google Sheet? Do I want to look up some data? Do I want to create a spreadsheet row? Do I want to update multiple spreadsheets or delete spreadsheets? Most of us are going to create one. And then we want to choose the account that our Google Sheet is in. And then we can choose, like I'll say this, and then we'll choose one of these. Okay. I'm just going to choose Bridget's leads, and then you choose the sheet. Okay. So you're really just telling it exactly where to go. Missing some fields. Oh, okay. Starting column. It's going to be the first one. Ending column. We'll say it's this one. And then we want to map this out. Okay. So if my data, let's say the data is first name, let's say this one is last name, and let's say this one is the email. Go away. All right. Contact, email. And then we have the phone. So let's choose this. Contact, phone. Okay, so now this is all set up. Okay, now this is all I'd have to do. If I just wanted every time whoever, whatever my trigger is, I wanted to send that data to update a Google Sheet, that's all I'd have to do. And then go through the steps like I did here to update the custom GPT, right? So as long as that custom GPT is set to update every time the Google Sheet is updated, which is what this guide shows you how to do, then you have that's all the automation. You don't need Zapier, you don't need anything else, just that step in your workflow. So you can use Zapier. You can manually go to the Google Sheet and you can type in whatever you need to type in to update it. All of that can be done. However you want to update it, totally up to you. But once that sheet gets updated, that's when the system takes place. And in my case, when I add a new video to my YouTube channel, it goes to Zapier, and then it goes to update that Google Sheet. And then as soon as that Google Sheet is updated, my custom GPT takes over, and then it has that video available. Did you guys know that you can do that directly inside of HighLevel?
That's crazy cool, man.
Yeah,
That is really nice how you did that, Bridget. That is nice.
yeah, it's cool. It's really cool. There's so many things that you can use Google Sheets for. And this is what I'm always saying about it's like the process. It doesn't matter what you want to use it for. The process is what you need to learn. And then once you learn the process, oh my gosh, the sky is the limit. It's insane. Let's go back to Manus now and let's see.
So, question.
Go ahead.
So okay. I know you can do that through Google Sheets because I've been doing it. What you're saying is you're saying that your custom GPT is then reading the Google Sheet.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Yep.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't need to, and I can show you if you want the back end of my custom GPT.
Oh yeah.
Let me see here. All right. So I can't really show everything, but I just want to show you. It looks basically the same as the other GPT, right? It's like all of this is the same. We just have the prompt here. I have my conversation starter. I have this file here that just tells about my business. And then here's where really the magic is, right? You create a new action. And here is where all of that data lives. Okay, this is the part that Manus helps you create. Because look, even when I did this training, I was like, seems way too advanced for me. I'll never be able to figure that out until Manus helped me figure it out. So that's I honestly I'm absolutely blown away, because I'm thinking of 100 other ways that I could use that information. Like think of like I didn't need to get um well, I guess if you look at the steps, um you do here's what I had to do. I had to go to Google Console, I had to get like API credentials, then I had to use Python and like create all this crazy advanced stuff I didn't even know. I didn't even know what it was. But I just literally was doing like screen share, screen share. This is what I'm looking at. What do I go? Where do I go now? What do I do next? And it would literally tell me every step of the way. So let's build this out together here. So let's see. It says, I've created a simpler approach. So a simple GPT prompt. All right, so let's do the simple prompt. So you are a helpful assistant. So let's take this. Let's go back now to the, oops, I was already in there. Let's go back now to this to edit this. Let's paste in the prompt. And let's see what else it says. Simple guide for creating what you'll create. All right, now I'm just gonna just do like I normally do when you guys aren't watching. And by the way, if you give Manus, um, if you give it a review, you get more credits. So I'm gonna say I pasted in the prompt. Now what? And it actually has the instructions here. Prepare your Google Sheet, what you'll create, prerequisites here. And this one is actually using an open AI. Oh, yeah, because of the GPT. So you prepare your Google Sheet, which I already had one, and most of us do if we're using this. Okay, so it says, now that you've pasted in the prompt, you'll need to follow these steps. So upload your Google Sheet data. I think it's not understanding what I want it to do. Go to the Knowledge tab in the GPT editor, click Upload. Oh, okay. Go to the Knowledge tab, Upload Files, upload your Google Sheet data. Manus, I don't have a Google Sheet for them to upload. I want you to use the guide, and I want you to guide the user into creating their own custom GPT using their own Google Sheet. Okay. Sometimes I get an attitude with Manus. I'm like, dude, get it straight the first time. I'm sorry you're not as smart as I am, Manus, but let's see. Oh, Rick, you have a question?
I really don't know if I have a question or not, but I'm gonna throw it out there anyway.
Yeah.
So let's see if I'm understanding this correctly. You had to go to Google Console to get an API to be able to transfer the information with Python to your Google Sheet.
hmm I
Correct?
had to get like credentials that are generated from Google Console. And you
Yeah.
guys, look, when I say all these things, please don't think I'm an expert in how to do this. This is what I love so much because I don't really, I mean, I have a Google Console account. I've used it for like just random things, but honestly, I don't even know like how to use it. I just went to Manus and I said, "This is what I want to do." And walk me through the steps. And Manus got a little too techy for me. And I was like, hey, slow down. I'm not a computer. Can you just walk me through this? And I even told Manus, can you walk me through the steps and then give me one step and then ask if I'm done with that before you give me the next step? Because it would just shoot out like, 8 steps. And I'm like having to scroll through the chat to like see, well, what was the next step? And so I said, slow down. But that's how we would talk to a person, right? Like, Rick, if we were doing a consultation and you were walking me through the steps and you're like, go to step one and go to step two and step three, I'd be like, whoa, Rick, slow down. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm trying to figure this out. And then when you do get to a point where you're stuck, you just screenshot it and say, hey, I'm stuck on step one. This is what I'm looking at. Where do I go? And it's so smart that it sees what you're looking at and it says, oh, okay, go up to the top right hand corner and click this button.
So you didn't have to use Zapier.
Correct.
So am I correct in thinking that by using Python, Manus gave you the code which replaced the Zapier step to be able to push the data to the Google Sheet, correct?
Yeah, Manus was actually writing all the code and everything for me. We just used Python to basically like organize the structure. But it literally, I've never used Python before.
Mhm.
It literally walked me through. And honestly, as soon as I logged in, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like something that's going to take me a month
It's
to
not
figure
that
out.
bad.
You know what? It might not be that to you, but it is to me, and maybe other people too. And so it doesn't matter how techy you are. Sometimes we just look at things and we're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm already overwhelmed." Just
It is
looking.
a black
So
box.
do what?
I said Python is a black box though.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like if it's one of those things I'm always preaching about. If you don't need it, don't dive in. And I never needed it before. Now I did to complete this task. And honestly, something else that I love so much about this process is that it's like, of course, I could have hired someone to do it, but you know what happens when you hire someone, you something breaks, and then now you got to hire them again to fix it. And I want to know how to do these things. The learning is what it excites me. I also want to learn how to do it because it's like I was saying, now I can think of like 1,000 things I want to use this process for way more than I probably ever even thought about using it. I just had this one use case, and that's kind of what sent me down this rabbit hole to learn all of this. But I just love how it's like you have this teacher at your disposal who's like a genius in everything and always available, whether you're working at 3 a.m. or 10 a.m., to answer all of your questions and is very patient and guides you through the process, even when you get super frustrated. Charles?
How do you now deal with the situation? And I'm going off of what I'm understanding is happening now, where okay, you're throwing the information into the Google sheet, and then the GPT is reading it. But you were before talking about, and I apologize because I probably missed this part, where it could be too much in the
Mhm.
spreadsheet. So how do we now address that part? If you've already addressed that, then I apologize.
Um, yeah, it's simply because it's not reading a knowledge file. That's the difference. It's like when ChatGPT, when you upload those knowledge files, ChatGPT has to go through those files and search, right? When
Mhm.
you have a file that has like 1,500 videos that it's trying to search for, that's when it's like a person too. It gets super overwhelmed and then it starts spitting out like hallucinating things, right? The difference with the knowledge file and the API is that the API is going like right to my channel and looking for that data instead of having to search through a knowledge base that I had to manually update and then generate the answer.
Okay, so in this scenario, it's basically going directly to your channel and searching versus searching from a spreadsheet. It is what I'm hearing. Is that right?
So honestly, now that you say that, I'm thinking, well, because it does read the sheet, but I also had to
Right.
get access. So I think the access from the Google console is giving, you have to get those credentials so that it can, so that it can, I'm thinking now. Charles, you always ask the best questions.
I'm sorry. I was just like confused. I was like, but how does it? Because like when you get, and I'm making up an arbitrary number, when you get to 103, you can't have more than 103,
Yeah.
rows, and then it gets hallucinogenic. It starts, tripping. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's drinking Hennessy or what. I don't know what it's doing.
I think that's definitely what it is. Let's ask Manus, okay? Let's say,
Okay.
hey Manus, why do you need to use the Google console to create credentials when it's reading a Google sheet for the information? I think it's so that, well, that wouldn't be true. I was thinking, while you were saying that, I was thinking, oh, it's because the Google sheet needs to be updated by the YouTube channel, but that's not how it's being updated. It's being updated by Zapier. When I add a video to a playlist, it updates the Google Sheet. So let's see what it says here. Great question. Great question, Charles. You need Google Cloud Console to create credentials when reading a Google Sheet because Google's security model for API. So that's what it is. I guess we have to give access to the Google Sheet via the API. So that's what that is for. Does that make sense now? So it's like we're updating the Google Sheet, but for the API to pull that data in from the Google Sheet, we have to create those credentials to give it access to the Google Sheet. Does it make sense or no? Are you there? Did I lose you, Charles? He's driving. Maybe he's in an area where he can't speak. It's okay. I understand. All right, so let's see what else. Um, let's see what else Manus gave us here. Let me share my screen so you guys can see. All right. Yeah, I literally just had this idea, so it's not like I certainly planned any of this, but I think it's cool for you guys to see, like, you don't have to be an expert. Like, I clearly am not an expert on this, but it's cool how it walks you through that process. So let's see now. Okay, so we have this universal guide. Is this my chat that I was just in? Google Sheet. Okay, so it looks like I need to dig in a little bit more and give it some better information to actually create that. But this is what the process would be, right? You just want to create that custom GPT, and you do need to have a paid chat GPT plan to be able to create your own custom GPTs. But it's just a matter of creating it just like you would any other custom GPT you're creating. It's just you have the knowledge files. So really where the magic is in this scenario, without using the advanced API, this is all a simple process. You're just creating your prompt to tell the GPT what to do. And then if you have some information that you want it to feed from, then you would just download here or upload rather the guide. So here in this prompt, I would just want to say, help the users, just like this prompt says. If we expand this, it says you're a helpful assistant that provides information based on a Google Sheet. So this is the problem with the prompt. It's trying to base the information off of a Google Sheet instead of off of the file, the universal guide. So what I would have to do is grab the title of this, and we can just manually adjust the prompt and say, that provides information on how to create a custom GPT and have it update automatically, or let's say, have it read the data from a live Google Sheet. And I want to say, Your purpose is to help users understand and access. All right, so that's where it's getting it wrong. Please reference a file called. And this is a helpful tip too when you're creating your prompts like this. If you can, when you upload a file to the knowledge base down here, if you in your prompt say, please reference the file called and tell it exactly what to do, you'll get a better response than if you just upload a bunch of files and then tell it to like read it because it's just like a person, right? If you trained someone to help people, in this purpose, help people walk through this process, okay? Say you hired a full-time person to help all of your clients walk through this process of how to create this. Um, they would be searching knowledge files too. If they didn't have the answer, they would be going back through references, right? And so the easier, it's like a book. If you had like a training manual, the book has chapters and it has an index, and you look at the index or the chapters and you say, oh, okay, how to do this. Okay, that's in this chapter. And then you go to that chapter and then you look at the information. That's what your custom GPT is doing. So it just needs to know where to go to find it, because if it can't find it right away, that's usually when it starts hallucinating and giving all kinds of random things that are not relevant to what you're trying to do. So let's just close this now and let's update the GPT and let's see what it gives. I haven't even read through the prompt and I'm literally just doing this live with you guys. But let's see what it says. Um, okay, so it's already getting closer, right? It's saying set up your Google Sheet, note the spreadsheet ID, create a Flask, set up from. Okay, so this is really the instructions. This is what I did to do all of this. But like, what if you get to this point and you're like, what the heck is this? What is create a Flask API? So this is what's cool about having your own custom GPT instead of just giving an ebook or something like that, because you can ask questions and then it will give the answer just like a person. Whereas just reading a guide, you don't have a person to ask. And so if you're the person who's providing this as a resource, then you either need to be available to answer those questions or you need to build a custom GPT that will guide people, which is, I think, better. Because, like I said, at 3 in the morning, if you finally get around to doing this because you have a full time job and you just put the kids to bed and whatever else happens, that's your only time that you can work on this, you want it to be available. So, this is why I love the custom GPT and then feeding that information so that it will help you walk through it rather than just giving you something to read. Rick, you have a question?
Okay, you had said the other day, and I think you said it earlier, that you have to have to do a custom GPT, you have to have the $20 plan.
Yeah.
Am I correct that if somebody wants to use that GPT, they have to have the $20 plan? Or could you
I
give them a link and they would be able to access that custom GPT that you have made?
Yeah, I thought I did say that at one point. I thought that you had to have a paid Chat GPT plan to be able to access the custom GPTs. But Keith Keith tried that out and he said that you do not have to have a paid plan.
Okay, because you're paying for the custom GPT with your $20
No.
plan, you're able to give access to other people.
Y- Yes and no.
Is
So
that-
you're paying for the plan that allows you to create the custom
Yeah.
GPTs.
hmm
But when your users are using your custom GPT, it's in their own account. So if they have limitations on their account, like credits or tokens, whatever, then they're still going to have to abide by those limits in their account. So it's not using yours, it's actually using their own. So that's another thing that's cool
Yeah. Yeah.
about having your own custom GPT is that it's like creating a really valuable tool, but it's not costing you anything but your time
Yeah.
to usually create it. Yeah, now you can have an update from the Google Sheet. What? This is so crazy. I'm so excited about this. Do you guys have any other questions?
I'm gonna have to watch this again.
I know. So cool. So since we did not, or yeah, we are going live actually. I forgot that I tested that out. You can always watch the replays, but I will certainly make sure that this replay gets added into the community as well. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel here. I want to make sure that I get all of you guys in here. So we have Manolo, Tony, Charles, and Miss Maria, and we have Rick. All right. I'm going to share my screen. All right. Did I miss anyone? That is so crazy how you can see me still on the camera or on the screen. It's so crazy. That's so cool. And also it does do that when you record your videos too. So if you guys are looking for like a way to do that, a lot of people ask that question too. Like, how do you show yourself on camera without anything behind you? The Zoom events works like that as well. So did I miss anyone? Definitely let me know if I did. Manolo, Tony, Charles, Maria, Rick. Going once? Twice? Okay, let's go ahead and spin. Good chances today. There's not a lot of people visiting us. Charles!
I heard that.
Yay! I better get some sleep, man. Charles brings questions that make my brain think. So, Charles, I will send you the link to book your private consultation as soon as we're done here. Manny said it made total sense to me. Hopefully you weren't being sarcastic. Do you guys what do you guys think about this training? Do you feel like, "Oh, I'll never do that?" Or do you feel like, "Oh, that is so good to know that it's possible?" Or are you ready to just jump in and like a crazy person, like, "I'm gonna figure it out."
I, from what I saw thus far, I'm really excited because some of it I'm doing already. So I'm excited to go back and rewatch to see if it's something that I'm missing
Yeah.
to add in. But definitely being able to connect the GPT to a Google Sheet that's updated automatically. I already know what the use case things like that are for it. So it's just trying to automate those reports that I wanted to kick out there.
Yeah. And that's really such a good point, Charles. The reason that's going to be easier for you and the reason that you're ready to jump in is because you do have the foundation already. It's like you don't need to know how to do this part until you've already created a custom GPT that you're using, and it's just like steps. It's like you create it, you get familiar with it, you start seeing the use cases and you start seeing the value of it. And then you start figuring out, okay, now how can I eliminate one more step in my workflow? And this, for my use case, obviously, now I have no steps. Not only do I have no steps that I manually have to do, but it's also providing so much better quality of a resource for you guys to be able to get up-to-date information on all of the videos on my channel if you're looking for something. So I love that. Manila, you have a question?
Yeah, one last question. So now you're using Zoom events on when you were doing the presentation, you use Zoom events to put yourself in the corner and the other screen on your left side.
Yeah, let me show you. I don't think I can show you like what it actually looks like, but if I start to screen share, let me do a little snippet here. Let's see. Let's see if I can snippet actually. I'm trying
But
to manipulate the system so I can show you what it looks like here.
are you no longer using Restream for this?
I am. It's just a little different of a setup.
Uh-huh.
Restream, I still do everything pretty much the same way. It's just now that I'm using Zoom events, it's a little different of a setup. Pretty much the same. It's just the settings are in different places. So let me
Okay.
show you this here. So here is what my screen looks like when I'm getting ready to share. And this is not totally different than what you guys see, except you'll see over here that I have these options where I can screen share. I look really funny there. I can screen share and not show myself at all, or I can show myself in the corner. I could show like this here or this option, which I haven't even done. I can try it if you want to see it, but that's all it is I'm just choosing right before I share. I click the share button, that little window pops up, and then I just set it however I want it to be. Is that what you were asking?
That is correct. Thank you. Appreciate it. You have yourself a great weekend.
Well, thank you. You too. If you want me to, I can show you like what the other versions look like. That one that I said I'd never used before. So that's what this one looks like. So it kind of puts it in the background there. And then if I chose this one, it puts it like my screens are side by side. So these are definitely like the advanced features that I really, really love about Zoom events, just because you have more options. And when you're going live as often as I am, it's like you really do want that high production quality. I just haven't like figured all of those cool things out yet. And also, of course, the main thing about Zoom events that prompted me to upgrade is the 1080p. If you're live streaming and you're repurposing your videos, especially, it needs to be in a higher quality. And the normal Zoom workplace account, it only streams in 720. So you have to upgrade to Zoom sessions or Zoom events to be able to stream in 1080p. So that was really the big difference there.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Definitely.
Yeah, I was saying, like, I know this week has been so wonky while we try to figure out a new setup and all of that, but at least I am, you know, blazing the trail and making all the mistakes for you guys and learning this process. And then you guys can know the pros and cons because it's really like just like that. I didn't know you had to upgrade to get 1080p. I had no idea. I just had to work through that whole process and all of that. Do you guys have any other questions before we go today? No? Okay. Monday is Memorial Day, so I won't be live. I'll be working, but I won't be live. So I hope you guys enjoy the day off if you get to take a day off, or the extra day to dive into your business and build your own custom GPTs, whatever you decide to do. But thank you all so much for joining me today, and I will see you all on Tuesday. Go make your vision a reality. Bye.